You're listening to Braless Watch, where a mother and daughter team offer their own opinions on watching TV through a feminist lens.
I'm Beth, the mom.
And I'm Lily, the daughter.
Welcome to Braless Watch, where TV watching gets a whole new perspective. Clothing is optional.
Hi!
Hello. How are you today?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm making it through.
We're living. We're chilling.
Living and chilling. Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good adage, actually.
Right?
All right.
Well, today we're going to be talking about I Love Lucy. Specifically, we're going to be talking about season 1, episodes 1 through 17. Yeah.
That's a lot.
I know, it's a lot of episodes because the first season's like 35 episodes.
Yeah.
So we had to split it into 2. Sorry, guys.
Hey, more content for them.
Hey, yeah. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe you'll like it more. I don't know.
Get to listen to us chalk and gibber.
Chalk?
Chalk?
We're chalking now? What are we chalking?
Oh my God. Please edit that out.
No.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So we have a bit of a format for those of you who are neurodivergent and really like formats, like us. We're going to try to lean towards this structure with historical context for the show first. Then we're going to cover some storyline, arc, and character developments. And then we'll talk about inequity perspectives, bringing it to the modern view. Mm-hmm. And then anything else that we wanted to add will be at the end. So with that, we'll get started. So I Love Lucy was filmed in the 1950s, from 1951 through 1957. It was set in Manhattan, New York City, New York, United States of America. In case you didn't know where New York is. Hey, some people might not. It starred Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz, Vivian Vance, and William Frawley as the main characters of the show. It's categorized as a comedy and sitcom in television history. It was one of the first television shows to feature an ensemble cast, which means it has more than just the one or two main characters. And it came just on the heels of radio switching to television. So that sort of cusp. Mm-hmm. There's
a lot of shows that come up.
Yeah. So this was groundbreaking TV, basically.
Well, this was the first one that didn't come from radio. Like one of the first ones.
Right, it didn't come from radio. It was actually written for TV.
Yeah, it was one of the first ones that came from.
When I was reading that in order to sell the idea for a multiracial marriage, right, to be put on TV.
Because that's crazy for 1950s. What?
Right? What a novel idea. But they actually wrote a small play that Lucy and Desi starred in. To sort of sell the idea.
Yeah, because they used to do vaudeville acts together, them two.
Yeah.
Desi and Lucille.
So in order to sell it to the right people, and I won't go into all the details of that, and you can go to Wikipedia to get all that. Anyway, so once they got it started and everything, there were a lot of firsts with this show, and we may not cover all of the firsts in this particular episode as we move forward, because we do have a second part coming for the other
that's
half.
Just this season. We're
season,
doing it by season, so
there's a lot of firsts that may come up as we move through I Love Lucy. So anyway, they're one of the first television shows to use something called flat lighting. It was to eliminate shadowing. They used a live audience to create real reactions and laughter rather than using canned laughter, which I'm assuming they used on radio. I'm not sure. I wasn't a part of that. I'm not that old. I'm not either. I Love Lucy's production also created something called the rerun, which everybody knows what that is now. It's in which an episode is broadcasted again later in lieu of shooting a new episode, and allowed the cast to take breaks, especially when Lucille was pregnant and needed time off from filming. It was also one of the first shows to be produced and broadcast throughout the United States. And I just mentioned in my little blurb to write about this is the technologically, that meant that towers had to go up to carry signals across the United States and into homes that had a receiver, which was a home television. And not everyone had one of those.
Nope.
Like not everyone has internet these days. So
right.
it's something along those lines.
We're getting close to more people having internet.
We
but
are.
anyway, yeah.
We are. Television ended up replacing radio as a form of entertainment and news communication about the beginning of 1950s. So the end of 1940s, beginning of 1950s.
Just think of the song "Video Killed the Radio Star." There you go.
Right. So yeah, and I Love Lucy was literally one of the first TV shows to be produced at this time. So I think it's very, very important for us to talk about the show.
Of course, and of course it's got the Queen, Lucille Ball.
Right? Do you have anything you want to add to the historical context?
Not for the show itself. I do have some history just in general, but we can get to that when we get to those episodes or when we get to them talking about those things.
Do we want to discuss the trigger warnings?
Yeah, let's go into the trigger warnings before we get too far away.
Okay, audience, here goes the trigger warnings.
The list is long.
The list
Bear
is
with.
very long. So we have domestic violence, emotional manipulation, neglect, abandonment, cultural appropriation, eating disorder, food restriction, that kind of thing, unrealistic female physical standards,
Yep.
guns, drug use, smoking. There's quite a bit of deceit that goes on. References to the occult and spiritualism, gendered content, animal cruelty, crime and home invasion, sexual content, reference to a physical disability, reference to sexual activity, which is, I guess it's right there in sexual content. I'm trying to look through here. Oh, behavioral representation from a child, which I thought was interesting how they did that. A lot of cultural appropriation listed here.
There is a lot of cultural appropriation.
There is inappropriate and unsolicited touching, losing
God,
the ability to exercise autonomy. There's an elder trope. There's children tropes. There's cultural tropes, which I will go into later. Gendered social constructs for power and control over women specifically. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So
Actually, that list was not as long as I thought it would be.
a lot of it was repeated. So everyone
Yeah,
be
they
careful when you're
do.
watching.
They do repeat a lot. That's the thing about older TV, just in general for everybody. You got to be careful, take it slow, and look it up if you need to. There are several sites that do trigger warning stuff. One of my faves is doesthedogdie.com.
That's good.
That's a good one.
reference.
That's a good website. It's community based, so.
I have people. They do that for me. I don't even look it up. I just say, go watch that.
And by people, she means me. It's mostly me.
So just to help out those that have some triggers, there you go. There's at least a good overview of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot that happens, and some of it was uncomfortable, I have to say, especially those first episodes. Once they got into a groove, I think it was like episode 4 or 5, when they started leaning more into the physical comedy of Lucille Ball.
Yes, yeah.
It got much better.
Leaning into the talent of her.
Yeah, lean into the talent, not the societal side of things. There are still some, obviously, and we'll get to that, but it does get better from the first episodes, but some of those first ones, man.
Right? Yeah, it's a little hard to watch. Mm-hmm. Okay. Storyline and character stuff.
Sure.
So I can go over this part. Lucy Ricardo is played by Lucille Ball. And I describe her as someone that straddles the societal norm of a dutiful housewife of the 1950s with her own dreams of becoming a celebrity through stage, radio, and TV production. She is portrayed as someone who is very good at domestic duties, but not with finances, as that comes up several times. There are even times in which she is portrayed as selfish within her closest relationships, scheming ways to achieve what she wants.
That's a good description of her. You have a lot of descriptions for everybody, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
So Ricky Ricardo is her husband. He's played by Desi Arnaz. Ricky, who is also her husband in real life.
Or was.
Was. They're both now passed.
They both passed and they divorced. Didn't they?
I think they divorced twice and they got married. I don't even remember.
You know, I'll look it up while you keep typing.
Okay. Ricky is portrayed as a Cuban immigrant married to Lucy, which I find to be interesting. He is a dutiful husband that works outside the home as a band orchestra leader at a local music dance club. Ricky is portrayed as someone with a hot temper, where he can be occasionally physical in his expression, especially towards Lucy and about the finances. or when she has schemed unbeknownst to him and causes relational issues between them or in the relationships with professionals or friends. Ethel Mertz is played by Vivian Vance. Ethel is portrayed as a next-door neighbor and manager of the apartment building that the Ricardos and the Mertzes live in. She is sometimes intrusive into Lucy's life and also brought in to be a part of Lucy's schemes. Ethel and Lucy are portrayed as best friends, although the best friend's characterization is tongue-in-cheek because Lucy regularly usurps the relationship and most of her other relationships to manipulate situations in her favor. Ethel usually protests a bit, but then goes along with whatever Lucy wants to do. Ethel is married to Fred Mertz. Fred Mertz, the character, is played by William Frawley. Fred is portrayed as a next-door neighbor and manager of the apartment building, just like Ethel. And that they're, yeah. Okay, reading my words. Sorry, guys. Fred can be grumpy and set in his ways. He's also portrayed as someone who is stingy with money and very frugal. The relationship between him and Ethel is not always on even ground. It is often portrayed with Fred barking at Ethel and Ethel barking back. There's a notable tension between them that gets explained away by leaning on the idea that the couple has been married for almost 2 decades.
So I have a quote for that real quick. Because Ethel says at one point, to Fred, you were a bum before he was born. And also later in that episode calls him old fat Fred.
Right? Yeah. I had a comment written down that said, Fat Fred was then countered with battle axe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that gets you the idea of the tension between the two of them. So, and from what I understand, that was actually real life tension. They did not like each other.
They did not.
As actors. Yeah.
But for Lucille Ball and Arnaz, for their marriage, she filed for divorce in 1944. And it was about to go through, but they spent the night together right before, and it got null and void because that's California law at the time.
Wow.
So came null and void because they spent the night together one time. And so they were married for a lot longer than that.
I'm going to assume spent the night together means they had sexual intercourse.
You know, it's Wikipedia, so I'm not quite sure, but okay. Probably.
Interesting law, though. I wonder if that still exists.
Probably not because there's no fault divorce now.
Ah, okay. Sounds good.
But back then, let's talk about divorce real quick because at the time, there was no fault divorce. So you had to have a reason for you to divorce somebody,
right.
Which trapped a lot of women because you'd get married really early, really young, 19, 18, and
age 19, 18, not at 19, 18. That's the turn of the century.
No. Age 19, 18, 18, 19, whatever, right? And then you'd be stuck married to this person for the rest of your life.
Well, that's the intention anyway.
That's the intention. So the divorce only happened if there was somebody actually did something wrong, normally stepped out of the marriage. Mm-hmm. Adultery was a big one, which is what happened with Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. Mm-hmm. Desi stepped out on their marriage. So
many times.
But yes, so divorce, no fault divorce didn't become a thing until 1970s, and that was only because California passed the first law of no fault divorce. And
so that's interesting you bring that up because actually one of the things I was putting down to talk about is the roles of men and women. Mm-hmm. And how family was described in 1950s, and family was just defined as a man and a woman and their shared genetic children.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you had anything outside of that, it was actually not the norm.
Right. You were considered weird or low class.
Right, or just not following societal norms or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. That's interesting. Okay. Anything else?
Not on divorce, no.
Okay.
I think I've tapped my divorce knowledge.
Okay. So we could move into heteronormative social constructs. I mean, I don't know if you have anything on that.
Probably. Probably have some sentences.
So one of the things One of the things I did notice. Tense. That's awesome. The first episode not only depicts like the heteronormative social construct, but it also highlights the gender differences on dating and also pitting women and men against each other in a competition for the attention the attention of intended love interests.
Right. It also, just that very, 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 very first scene, what you see is Lucy and Ethel in the kitchen cleaning dishes from dinner, and then it pans into the living room, and Fred and Ricky are just chilling on the couch watching TV, hoping to go to the fights. That's what they're doing. They're not helping. They're not paying attention to what their wives are doing or saying. They don't care.
Mm-hmm. Can anyone relate?
If you can relate, please leave. If you can, get out. You're so much better than that, I promise. Your life can be better. Yeah. The heteronormative stuff, it happens a lot in these first 17 episodes. There's one episode where Ricky specifically says, I want a wife who's just a wife.
Mm-hmm.
That's in episode 6.
Take care of his home and his children.
Mm-hmm. He wants to be completely taken care of.
Right. So they spell out the social construct.
Right? It's all right there. And then there's another episode in episode 14 where Lucy's trying to get a job to pay for a dress. We'll get to that. But she says, I'm no longer the doting housewife. If you're going to send me out into the business world, you're going to treat me as a fellow businessman. That just really shows how much Lucy was fighting against this societal construct.
Yeah, I did mention that too somewhere. I wrote both female characters appear to slip in and out of these social constructs to suit them. This speaks to their shared white and upper middle class financial privilege. They appear to know how and when to use these social constructs to cater favor to themselves when necessary.
That's very true. That's very true.
So, yeah, it's not like that they were trapped within the social construct, but they knew how to use it to their advantage.
Right.
To get mostly what they needed to be, I guess, a modicum of happy, whatever that looks like.
Okay.
But it seems to me that I Love Lucy is based on the fact that Lucy's not completely happy. And so she continues to emotionally manipulate situations to suit her to get what she wants. Which usually ends up with her getting what she wants.
Yeah, either in some form of fashion. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. There's one episode in particular. This is way late season, so we'll get into that. But that's one of the only examples I can think of right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Where she doesn't get what she wants.
Yeah. Yeah. Continuing on this path of heteronormative, let's talk about episode 2 in the book. The book, How to Keep the Honeymoon from Ending by Dr. Humphreys.
Oh my goodness.
Which, by the way, that has to be a man.
I mean,
it doesn't have to be, but...
Was it a real book?
No. I looked it up. It's not a real book.
What?
It's a fake book that they created. But there's a lot of... It's an example of books of the time, right? That were quote-unquote helping women keep their marriages happy. When in reality, they weren't. It's just because they got married too young or needed to just get out of the marriage.
I mean, there's a social construct to be married, right? To be partnered, but no one takes a class on how to be partnered.
Right.
They don't take a class on how to live with somebody and cohabitate. And that's how is that taught, right? If you don't have a family that's intact prior,
right,
generationally, then you're not going to know how to cohabitate later.
Which, as far as we're aware, as far as I'm aware, all of the characters in the show all had 2-parent households at least when they were growing up.
I actually don't know. I didn't look that up.
I didn't either.
Okay, maybe for the next part we'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll look at a little bit. I can do family trees on each of them.
Well, of the characters, not of the actors.
Oh, of the characters?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Of the characters, not the actors.
The only one I don't know of is Fred.
Yeah, I don't think Fred is ever talked about, so.
Yeah, his history is not really there, other than vaudeville.
Right.
The character history there. And he's also older. It's really funny, because he's supposed to be the same age as Ethel. I think they're supposed to be, roughly the same age, but I don't know how they passed that off. Yeah, that did not work.
It did not work.
No.
No.
In my opinion, they shouldn't have casted Fred. He didn't fit with the
He didn't.
synergy of the casting. So I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to do a little bit of deep dive to figure out how and why he got assigned that in casting. Mm-hmm. So that would be interesting. But yeah, the rest of them, we get a little bit of taste of their family history as we move along in the their arcs and their character stuff. So yeah, and they all come from intact families, meaning they had two parents and other siblings and things like that. Mm-hmm. Except I think Ethel may have been an only child. I'm not sure. Oh, and Lucy may have been an only child.
I think so. I think the two women.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that explains some things.
Especially about Lucy.
Especially about Lucy. Okay, so the book.
Oh yeah, the book. Yeah, it really just highlights, the book is How to Keep the Honeymoon from Ending. It really just highlights that what?
Okay, guys, I'm making a face.
She made a face.
Cuz I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you trap yourself in a honeymoon phase?
Right? Why wouldn't you want to grow up or change?
Grow with the relationship.
Right?
Like, why would you trap yourself in the newness and the novelty of honeymoon?
Right? That's just from the title, right?
Right?
So if you actually hear what Lucy and Ethel say about this book, all of the blame that the book says falls on the wife.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's always the woman's fault.
It's always the wife's fault. It can never be the man's fault.
Right.
He can't be having a bad day. He can't be having emotions or be distracted because something's happening at work.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right. He's perfect.
It has to be because the wife is doing something wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Very much so, yes.
I don't think I have any more on episode 2.
Well, I was looking at my notes on it, and I don't really have much on it either. It's just interesting that the book leans so heavily on the wife making changes.
It does. It also focuses on them making changes within the home.
Well, that's not even okay.
And completely changing themselves.
My therapist hat's coming on.
I saw it go on. I watched it. It was okay.
I do not have a physical hat. Sorry, guys.
I'll get her one. It's fine.
The idea that men are not forced to make changes to reflect in their marriage, to reflect on their home life, right? It absolves them. Mm-hmm. And not only does it ridicule the wife's roles, or role rather, roles, because wife and then the mother, right? If they have children, they end up becoming mothers.
Yep. So,
putting all of that pressure onto one side of the relationship, it really is an unequal and imbalanced relationship. You're already implying that.
Right.
And creating resentment and contempt, right? Mm-hmm. This book is actually fueling that.
Right.
Which then puts a wedge between the two. It's not bringing the two together.
And people wonder why people decided to embrace hippies in the 60s. Because then women were not forced into this box anymore.
Which is just a decade after.
Right.
Yeah.
Decade later, the children of those families were like, nah, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. Especially women. They were not doing it.
The books like that don't lean to the health of a relationship, period. Right. Yeah. At all. It's very one-sided, and it implies that the woman has all the power in the relationship when actually she's not the one without any power.
Right.
So the implication is a lie.
And remember, they can't get divorced.
Right?
They just got to live with it.
My goodness. Okay. What else you got over there?
So in episode 5, Lucy, they go over Lucy's spending and her finances. This is the first episode of them talking about her finances.
Oh, yes.
she puts $250 in her miscellaneous category of her spending, which if you put that into perspective of modern time, that is well over $3,000.
My goodness. Our eyeballs are popping out of our heads right now.
Oh, just wait, because if you later in that episode, because that's the quiz show, she goes to try to win $1,000, right? To help pay for all of this stuff. And that equals to $13,000.
Holy cannoli.
Winning $13,000 from a radio show.
Wow. Sign me up.
Right? The last money thing I have is in episode 9, Ricky rents a 3,500 mink coat.
Yes.
For a show. And that comes out to over $45,000.
Oh my gosh. It's a small car, people. It's a small car.
It's a car on her back. And no wonder she wears it to bed. Like, she's just going to wear it all the time.
She wears it to cook. She wears it to bed.
Yeah.
She's...
No wonder she's going to wear... She loves that thing.
Right? Yeah.
No wonder she doesn't want to let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, it's a representation of Ricky's love from what she's thinking, right?
Right. From her perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. We can go back to the quiz show. But...
So the quiz show, I was just going to say that she mentioned something called the charger plate.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone knows what a charger plate is, please write to us.
Please don't.
But a charger plate, it looks like a little credit card. It's very tiny, though. And I guess it just showed that you had a promise to the account. And you, like, signed up, like a membership card.
Interesting. So,
but you could charge to the membership, right, and have like an agreement contract with the
So was
shop.
It like a credit card sort of where you...
I think it's the beginnings of a credit card situation. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's with individual proprietors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you would make an agreement, or your husband would make an agreement.
Yeah.
You would not make an agreement as females.
I'll have to
Your
look that up.
Your husband would make an agreement.
Yeah.
It's my understanding anyway.
I'll have to look that up because I can't remember exactly when that happened, but women could not get credit cards, debit cards for themselves at this time.
Precursor of the credit card.
Yeah, it's precursor. That's what it sounded like. So
yeah.
But I'll have to look that up for next time.
It says it's 2.5 by 1 1/4 rectangle sheet metal.
Okay.
It's similar to a military dog tag, and was embossed with the customer's name, city, and state. With in some cases without a street address, and most times it would have one. The picture showed it has a street address on it. It held a small paper card for a signature. Okay, that's weird. So I guess when you look at pictures on the backside is these little. It's like a framed, sort of pinched, and you put your signature paper in there.
So, in the context of the episode, she says, "Take a piece of the charger plate," right? Or something like that.
I don't remember her saying that. He took the charger plate away from her.
Oh, he took it away from her. Okay.
Yeah, he took the actual thing away from her. If you don't have that on you, much like a membership card, you're not going to get the items.
Access.
You can't check out. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you can't record your purchases, right? And it is a precursor to the credit card.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just reading a little bit about it. It's about this part. That's like words now.
You're not even saying words. You're not even saying sentences.
I know. I lost them all.
I was
going to go back to the quiz show.
Yeah. Also, number one, that sounds like a terrible radio show because it spent half the time just spraying water in her face.
Right. Was this the first introduction to her physical comedy?
It's one of them, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think it's the exact first one because I think the fourth episode is when she tries to be the clown.
This is the fourth episode. Oh, no.
It's the fifth.
Okay, I'm lost now. Okay, no, this is fifth.
Yeah, the quiz show is the fifth episode, and but this is the episode where they spray water in her face, and I'm like, that's a terrible radio show. You can't hear it.
Right? Right? It's definitely done for visual purposes.
Yeah,
it's for sure.
Completely done for visual purposes. And I'm like, this as an actual radio show, this sucks.
Do we want to talk about what the radio show is called?
I don't think I caught that.
Females Are Fabulous.
I did catch that, and I couldn't remember why I wrote a note about it. Right. Okay.
So I wrote, females are fabulous, where women are expected to make idiots of themselves, game show to win money.
Yep. And the other thing about this radio show, I'm just jumping back because this is a terrible format for a radio show. She doesn't get the $1,000 after doing the thing on the radio show. She has to do something else. So it's a bait and switch, number one.
It is a bait and switch, yeah.
And so, but the next part of her doing the thing is not on the radio. It's her pretending to Ricky that her long lost husband has come back.
Right.
All of that's not on the radio. So this is a terrible radio show.
It is a terrible radio show. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Anyway, I just found that interesting that they would call it Females Are Fabulous.
And it's hosted by a man.
Hosted by a man with another man as a assistant.
Co-host. Yeah,
yes.
assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for episode 6?
Sure.
Quick talk about that because I have something for that.
Go for it.
Lucy says something about Burns and Allen in that episode. Burns and Allen was a radio show starting in 1934, starring a comedy duo, Gracie Allen and her husband, George Burns. It eventually moved to an actual TV sitcom, and it ran for several years.
I'm nodding my head because I know these people. I am this old. I grew up with the tail ends of George Burns' career.
Ah.
And I believe he was married to Gracie Allen.
Oh, yeah, they were married.
So
Gracie
he had
Allen
already
and her
lost
husband.
her when I started watching TV for myself.
But they were a comedy duo for years.
Yeah, so I have vague memories of watching George Burns on in movies, actually. Mm-hmm. He was old as dirt, and so to me, because I was a little girl, but I do remember him being on TV, so that is a name I actually know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know. Interesting. I remember that, not anything else. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it was a radio show, and I think they did some vaudeville acts and movies and stuff.
Do you know in what context she mentioned it in the show?
She said something about her and Ricky being Burns and Allen, or no, she was trying to get in on being in Ricky's show. I believe that's that episode.
Right. Well, how did Burns and Allen come up as?
She said, "What about Burns and Allen? Why can't I be a part of your show?"
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, because that was one of the episodes. Yeah, that was the audition show. Oh, that's the one with the physical comedy and the clown.
Yeah, that's what I was reading because I wrote notes about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she was trying to get in on his act, and he was like, "I want a wife at home," blah blah blah. You know, general things that he says, and then she's like, "Well, what about Burns and Allen?"
Interesting. Okay.
So,
what else we got?
I don't have anything else for episode 6 because that's mostly physical comedy, and it's not a bad thing. It's,
Do you have any other content that you wanted to cover?
Oh, yeah. I can keep going. Episode 8. Episode 8. Lucy ends up on the cover of a magazine. It's Look magazine. I'm not even going to talk about episode 8 too much, but it's Look magazine. And Look magazine was a general interest magazine from Des Moines, Iowa. And it started in 1937 and went defunct in 71.
Wow, that's a long time.
Right? Especially for a magazine.
Yeah. But it was like People or something, right?
It was like, a general interest.
Yeah. So it was pretty widely distributed. Mm-hmm. So when Lucy and her shenanigans.
Yeah, when Lucy gets on it. Yeah. I mean, that a lot of these episodes come down to communication. Lucy and Ricky need to communicate to each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And not through third party, not through, they need to talk to each other and not lie. Because there's one episode where Ricky just blatantly lies because he thinks it's funny, and then she catches him in that lie. And now she thinks he's cheating on her. Mm-hmm. It immediately blows up in his face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of that episode after episode.
Of them just not talking to each other.
Right, in a true way. Yeah. Right? We actually don't get very many scenes of either couple being very intimate with one another and being truthful.
Truthful, no. Intimate, sort of. There is one episode, I can't remember which one, but there is one episode where Ricky and Lucy kiss a lot, and I think they were trying to test it as an episode. Because I noted it was like 4 or 5 times in a whole episode.
Jealous of the Girl Singer, that one? Episode 10?
Maybe?
So I wrote in notes in that one, men specifically using physical advances to cloud or gaslight their poor behavior in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So listen up, men. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't lie.
Don't lie. Don't push your body on us. Don't do that.
No. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do it. Walk away. We carry tasers now, by the way. We will use them.
Yeah. That was an interesting episode.
The jealous one?
Yeah. I mean, it pits women competing with one another for a man's attention.
Yeah, and that's the whole and that's the one with the Jezebel number, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Jezebel number.
Which in the song itself is
very weird. It's a very weird number. Yeah.
So I've got a note on here. It says
for what episode?
The same episode. Oh. Ricky comes home and begins explaining there's an extra dancer that was ugly and had a horrible figure and didn't know any of the steps.
That was talking about Lucy.
It was talking about Lucy, all the while stepping off screen to go to closet, to retrieve and put on the wig.
Yeah, he was trying to poke fun at her breaking into his set.
So I wrote, this makes for a nice joke to wrap up the storyline, but heterosexual women get to endure many tropes in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just Lucy. It's Ethel. It's the lady who plays Jezebel. Like, there's a bunch in this one that is not favorable to women.
Well, and a lot of, I will say about a lot of I Love Lucy episodes, the main problem doesn't get resolved.
Right?
Whatever it may be. Whatever that problem may be, whether it be Lucy buying a dress for sale and then it not being, oh, did I not say that one? Oh, I didn't say that one when I was talking about money.
Okay. We can go back.
Yeah. Lucy buys a dress on sale. And then Ricky's on her about, you need to pay for this yourself because I'm not going to pay for it. The reason is because it comes out to a little more than $750 for a dress on sale, which means they can't take it back.
My goodness. My goodness.
That's episode 14. We'll get there. But
yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. I've got this. The cost of the dress that Lucy shows off is $59.95 in the 1950s.
Yeah. $59.95,
which doesn't sound like a lot, right? $60.
Yeah, $60, but it's actually $750.
Right, in our time.
In our time, in our money.
So yeah.
That's episode 14.
Okay,
we'll get to that episode because that one involves the kids. Episode 11. Just to keep moving ahead. Ricky is going to Fort Dix for performance, and Lucy thinks that he's drafted, number one, but. I was looking at it and looking at an actual map. It's only an hour and a half away.
Yeah, it's not that far.
It's actually not that far.
Right?
It sounds like it's a million miles away. It's not.
Right. No, it's not that far.
It's not that far.
Yeah, I wrote Fort Dix is in New Jersey.
Yeah, it's not that far.
So, yeah.
And I also looked up if Fred and Ricky were being drafted, what war would they be drafted into? They would be being drafted into the Korean War.
I wrote the same. Mm-hmm. And I wrote for men between ages 18 and 35. At this time, both actors were actually over those ages.
Yeah.
So they would not have been drafted.
No.
I mean, yeah.
So there was also a clause that if you were in the World War, you didn't have to be a part of the Korean War as well.
Yes, I think. Yeah, World War II. I wrote that. World War II veterans were exempt from the draft at this time. And
I think Fred falls into that category.
Yeah. I read that on the wiki that supposedly his character fought
in World War II.
Yeah. So I wrote also, I find it interesting that Ethel and Lucy had working knowledge of the laws around reading other people's mail, but did not know the general guidelines around the draft. Ricky and Fred both would have been exempt from the draft at this time due to being too old. So, yeah. I find it interesting that they knew that they weren't supposed to be reading each other's mail because it's against the law.
Right.
To tamper with mail.
Yet they do it all the time.
And they do it all the time. But they didn't have the general guidelines. And I wonder if that's a gendered thing, right? Because women handled the male and then men really didn't, right?
Right.
So
they just got whatever was given to them.
Women, specifically women, may not have working knowledge of the draft because it wouldn't concern them specifically.
They weren't a part of it.
Right.
For some of them.
Right.
Yeah, that whole episode's very weird.
It is a weird episode.
Fred says some things that annoy me in that episode.
Well, and I found it interesting, too, that the representation of Ricky and Fred being on going to the performance, that they're on opposite sides of the Civil War. That's how they're dressed. Right.
And then Lucy's like, they're on opposite sides. Oh, no. And I'm like, but they're dressed as Civil War.
Right. That which happened the prior century.
Right. That was way long ago.
So wouldn't they realize they're in costume?
Right.
Yeah. Because they're in showbiz.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. None of this made sense. This one. Yeah.
There was a quote Fred says, which annoys me. When a woman starts crying for no reason and knits small little things, what else could that be? Implying that Lucy's pregnant because Ricky then says, oh, God, I'm going to be a father.
Yeah.
No. There are many reasons to start crying for no reason. Hormones are a big one. Saw a sad commercial.
I mean, it just speaks to the trope, right? Women are not allowed to express themselves in the natural way, right?
Right.
They're to constantly be, I had this conversation earlier,
Mm-hmm.
they have to constantly be content,
mm-hmm.
on the verge of happiness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not rebel against any of the things. They're not allowed to have a bad day.
Right.
Yeah. All of that gets shoved down, and you feed your man and you take care of the home and you do your duty. And then you wake up the next morning and do it all over again.
That sounds like prison.
It is prison.
That's awful. I'm not doing that. So moving on to episode 12, if you're okay with it.
Gosh, episode 12.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. But what I have of her episode 12 is actually more interesting. So Ricky makes reference to a Paul Henreid when he's lighting a cigarette for himself and Lucy. Paul Henreid was a German actor who left Germany at the start of World War II, or well before World War II actually started, because he was anti-Nazi. And the reference in the reference he makes is to a movie called Now Voyager that he stars in. From 1942.
Interesting.
I know.
Okay.
I told you it was actually interesting. And not why.
I don't remember the reference.
He literally lights 2 cigarettes in his mouth. And that he says something about being Paul Henreid.
What does 2 cigarettes have to do with Paul Henreid?
I don't know. Like I said, it references the movie Now Voyager, and I don't know what that movie is because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let us know, people. If you know the answer to that question, send it to us. All right. Should we go into what's wrong with this episode? Because there's nothing right about it. Let me just say.
Shall we start with the Frenchman who agrees to cheat on his wife who's back home in France only because American women expect it?
Oh my God.
He actually said those words.
Yeah, I remember.
What the fuck?
Right?
What the fuck, people?
So much wrong with this episode.
There's no consent.
Right? Yeah. Lucy gets attacked. Physical assault.
Oh, yeah. And not even bringing it to the Frenchman. Let's take it back to... Fred is teaching Lucy how to dance.
A specific dance.
Specific dance, right? It's
They're called the Apache
It is
dance.
the Apache dance. It's a French dance, I think.
Well, okay, a little background on the Apache dance.
Yeah.
So the Apache dance, yes, it does come from French origins, but they stole it from indigenous people.
Of course they did.
Which is why it's called the Apache dance.
Of course it is. I assumed it was stolen.
So... the Apache dance is a dance of love, which is not what the history of it is. It is a historical reference of a violent discussion between pimp and prostitute.
And it's a story of love?
No, the character in the guy, I guess, describes Apache dancing as a dance of love.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, the French guy.
Yeah, it's not a dance of love.
No, it's actually a violent discussion between pimp and prostitute.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does when you watch the dance.
When you
right?
actually watch the dance, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, so while Fred is trying to teach Lucy this dance, Fred just grabs Lucy's waist twice. The second time, squeezing her and startles her completely. There is no consent. There's no talking about this. He just grabs her and moves her.
Mm-hmm. Explains why she throws him to the floor.
Right. She does throw him on the floor, and that was nice to see. Because he tried to do it to her, and she didn't move.
It was a great power imbalance. I loved it. It was awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that whole episode is a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. So further notes on that particular episode. There's a reference to an Andy Gump.
I don't think I caught that.
It's when Ricky says he's shaving his chin away because he had to go shave a second time for the day because they're going to be meeting people for dinner or whatever. When it's a joke when Lucy calls Ricky Andy Gump because he was complaining about shaving, and Andy Gump was a cartoon that was drawn with a chin that was almost not there.
Oh,
so it's an actual character.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I just think that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I caught that.
And then I have the rest of it. I have Ricky and Lucy are in bed together in the ending scene, and they're kissing goodnight.
Oh, yeah.
So
I have to say, the passionate kisses on these episodes are not that passionate. They're very blank.
I mean,
it's lips together. That's about it. But what can you expect from the 1950s?
1950s, it was scandalous to even be locking lips together on screen.
True.
This went from radio to TV.
I understand.
To have a visual of PDA.
They call it passionate, and I'm like, no.
Public displays of affection.
I know.
For other acronyms that might be out there. But yeah, this is unheard of, actually. And I mean, yeah, it was just lips locking because you can definitely tell there's no tongue.
Yeah, they're not doing anything. Nothing happens. It's literally faces together.
Yeah, it's just faces together, and they're not even...
It's like Barbie dolls.
It is like Barbie dolls.
Now kiss.
There's not really any arms moving or anything. Yeah, it's very dispassionate, right?
Right.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right. Can we move on to episode 13?
Sure.
All right. Let's talk about Clark Gable for a minute. So he's mentioned. I think he's mentioned by Ethel. Clark Gable was a famous actor from the 20s into the 60s when he died. He was known as the King of Hollywood because he spent 3 decades playing leading men in movies.
Mm-hmm. He was supposedly handsome, but I never found it to be.
He's all right.
Yeah, it's okay. Maybe he had swagger.
I don't know. Never really watched his movies, so maybe.
I grew up with the name. Again, I know the name and I can picture a guy for the most part, but yeah, I just not that interested in that.
Got anything else for the 13th?
Not really. I wrote power dynamic differences, but I mean, Lucy...
It happens all the time in this.
I was annoyed because Lucy throws a toddler tantrum.
She does.
Kicking feet, screaming in the air, pounding her fists, like...
Yeah, was that common in the 50s?
I don't remember seeing that. Of course, I was, not born, so...
You don't remember as a fetus? Come on now.
Right? Or even not even thought of. Because my mom was born in 1956, so...
You weren't even a fetus, you were an egg.
I can honestly say, with all the TV I've watched, I have never seen that portrayed by a woman or a man, even at any point. This is something inherent to her emotional immaturity, I guess. Yeah.
Because I haven't watched a ton of old TV, but...
Well, I just don't... Where would the idea come from that a woman would have this sort of tantrum like this? A sort of toddler tantrum where you're kicking and screaming, literally kicking and screaming.
Yeah. It was bad. It was not good.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy to watch either.
No.
Anyway, I did mention that Ethel shows that she can do math, like, really well.
Yes.
Which speaks to her pairing with Fred, because Fred is very frugal with numbers.
Right.
So it's probably something they have in common, that he can trust her to not overspend, to not, you know, waste his money, as it were.
She asks, and she might spend on a few things, but she's not going to do what Lucy does and spend $59.95 on a dress.
$750.
$750 right
without consulting her partner, who's in the same financial
right when
entanglement.
They're in the water already.
Right. Well, she's in the water. She obviously can't save money.
Well, if she's in the water, the household's in the water, because she runs the household bills too.
Right. Which, why would you give your wife, knowing they've been married for 15 years or something?
Yeah.
Why would you continue to give her the bills to pay?
I have no idea.
Is that part of the social construct, that she needs to learn how to do that?
Maybe.
Maybe she doesn't have the...
I'd have to look that one up.
Yeah. That's interesting. Okay.
That's episode... On. Yeah. Are you good with 13? Shall we go to 14?
Sure.
Because I have something for this one. So, when Lucy... when the kid is dropped off, I have a lot of questions about the kid being dropped off and stuff. But when the kid is dropped off at Lucy's house, she touches that kid a lot, and then he kicks her.
Oh my gosh, yes.
She strokes his face, touches his chest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you touching this kid?
Right.
Why are you touching this kid?
Without consent.
Without consent. Leave him alone. He's fine.
Right. And also condescendingly speaking to him when he's clearly able to speak for himself.
Right.
He's definitely old enough to, be able to express himself. He can answer questions. And she just usurps the whole thing like that. Right. Yeah. And starts to dominate, right? She tries
to dominate, but then the kids start speaking down to her.
Right.
Which you understand that they learned from their mother, because their mother is so entitled.
Right. Well, not only that, they probably learned it from their father to be gendered, right? That they because they're boys, they can exert that power.
Probably. The mother. Let's talk about the mother real quick, because my God. Number one, she drops off one kid and then just sneaks in the other one.
Right.
So there's only two. She knows that they're not great kids. And at one point she mentions, don't set the babysitter on fire again or you're going to get a spanking. What? The entitlement of this woman. And then also, so she agrees with Lucy to drop these kids off, right? And then she doesn't pick them up and expects Lucy to do a performance that she was supposed to do with them. Plan your day better.
Right?
Plan your day better.
Oh, she probably very likely planned to not have
I know. The entitlement. Right. It's the entitlement.
Well, and what I don't get is, why does she need a babysitter? If she's that entitled, she's got privilege.
I think it's because the kids are terrors.
Right? But wouldn't you hire somebody who could handle terrors?
I don't know.
Also, why would you raise terrors?
Right? There's a lot of things. That mother drives me insane. That whole episode drives me insane. Specifically that mom, because she just did not plan her day and expected somebody else to deal with it.
I mean, from a mother's perspective, I can understand.
Yeah, but then don't expect the babysitter to do the performance with your child.
Right? Yeah, that especially when it wasn't a part of the agreement.
Right?
Yeah.
And also, was it normal for people to just put in ads and then drop their kids off and whoever
I don't know.
agreed
the safety,
to that?
Yeah, the
safety
factor.
of that was like, what?
Wow. And then to have this woman come over to your house, you just gave your address away?
Right.
So the stranger now knows where you are?
Yeah, from Lucy's perspective, that's ridiculous.
Right. And then you're dropping your own children off at the stranger's house.
Right.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of a time travel here. When I was little, I did get dropped off at strangers' houses. So this was something that happened in the 70s too.
That's crazy.
So you just, either by word of mouth or whatever. And yeah, you just...
No wonder children went missing.
Exactly. Yes.
No wonder.
Protect our children, people.
Watch your children.
Okay. So, yes.
And don't let them kick strangers. So that's all I have for that.
Okay.
I don't have anything for the other two either. I have one for 17. That's it.
We were on episode 14, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a slight Star Trek reference.
There's a Star Trek reference?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting because Lucille Ball is the whole reason Star Trek part of the reason why it got created.
Right?
Because
that's why I added this.
She fought for the second pilot to be created, which is what got picked up.
So the woman who plays the mom, Gail Bonney, made an appearance in one of the original series Star Trek episode. She played one of the witches. I don't know if you remember that episode.
Oh, that was a weird episode. Yeah,
they were sort of floating and
yeah,
but she was one of those.
Okay.
So I just found that interesting.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Star Trek reference. Sorry.
Star Trek reference before Star Trek was even a thing.
Right? Yes.
That was 20 years beforehand.
Yes. Okay. What do you got next?
I don't have anything for 15 or 16.
Okay. The only thing I have for 15 is an elder trope, right? Mm-hmm. That
well, and you also have the dude throwing himself on Lucy. So
he automatically thinks that the note is from her.
I guess this is something that I can bring up. This was a question I asked in my notes of why is it with one show of any affection, the man thinks immediately that the woman, wants to get a divorce and be with him.
Right?
It's an immediate, like, get a divorce, marry me. Like, why isn't an immediate reaction of that?
Because it's a transfer of possessions.
Oh, God. Fuck that.
Social construct.
No.
So this is where...
I am not a profession.
What?
I'm not a profession. That's what I said.
Oh, okay. You're also not a possession.
Possession is what I meant to say.
You might be possessed, but you're not a possession. Okay.
If I can't speak, yeah.
Tongue-tied. Yeah, you have to think in the social constructs. What I was going to mention here is that you can definitely tell the age difference between you and I, because I grew up indoctrinated in not only a social construct of just the outer part of just American culture, but then the inner part of a religious culture as well. So
right, because we're in the Bible Belt.
We are in the Bible Belt. So I understand this sort of transfer of possession of women.
I logically understand it. I'm never going to let that happen.
True. Mm-mm. Yeah. So anyway, it's just that makes sense to me in those in that context. I also agree with you that we should not be possessions. That should not be happening at all. And children are not possessions either.
No.
So, yes. I did make a note that Lucy's collar line went from
yeah, was this the one with the really low?
Yeah, it went really low.
She showed a lot of cleavage.
Like, what's going on there?
I mean, it looked good.
Right? I also wrote a note, too, that this might be the first time that the word sex was actually used on TV.
We might need to look that up.
Yeah, I have a little bit of stuff there, but I found it interesting that the actual word was used in this episode.
Interesting.
And it's the older woman who uses it.
She does. I do remember that now.
She whispers it, but she does say it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they could say sex, but not pregnant?
Yes.
Make that make sense.
Right. So, yeah, I wrote in there that, there's a trope about elder women, so being spinsters, right?
Right.
And not having been privileged with the life of a marriage.
That is a trope. That is a trope in that one.
So,
and she's also supposed to be like really old.
She is supposed to be really old, but actually the actress was very similar age to Lucy and Ethel.
Right. She was like...
Or Lucille Ball and Vivian Vance.
30 years younger than what she was playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which worked on a tube TV, but it doesn't work on our HD TVs nowadays.
Right. I mean, those of you who are watching along with us, just keep in mind these older shows, they were on smaller screens, further away. So children, I mean, the pictures you've seen with children sitting in front. Also, there was not these couches, right? This sort of sectional type, gathering couches. It was, mom, dad had a chair and then children sat on the floor.
Yep.
I grew up with that kind of, you never sat in the furniture. Oh my God, don't do that. I grew up with that household. The pictures are real. That's what you're taught, to sit in the floor and watch TV. And the screens were really, really tiny.
Yeah, they were tiny, and they didn't have a lot of pixels.
Right.
Just taking it to a tech side of things, they didn't have a lot of pixels, so you couldn't make out a lot of detail.
Right.
So a lot of the times production companies would like fudge things, like with this actress playing
with older makeup. Yeah.
someone who's older, and it would work.
Yeah, it would work.
It doesn't work now because we have 50-inch, 100-inch screens and
Right.
HD TV with a lot of tiny pixels. So my tongue's starting to not work. It's great.
Oh, awesome. We're in store for a great time.
Right. So 17, is that where we're at? Or 16?
Oh, and I did make a final note to episode 15 about where the two men meet each other, and the older guy is trying to vie to keep Lucy, to divorce Ricky and
Mr. Ritter.
Mr. Ritter, yeah. So they took over her autonomy and gave her no choices. They were volleying her back and forth.
Physically. That was a physical volley. They were pulling each other back and forth.
Right. Trying to take possession of her.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Leave then. Leave. Walk out. Fuck that.
Right?
No.
Yes. Don't dismiss your own autonomy, people.
No.
Okay.
Also, I just want to quickly highlight out for the episode 15 real quick. That was the first episode without Ethel or Fred.
Oh.
Neither one
True.
appeared.
Very true. Okay. Interesting.
It's one of the few that doesn't have Ethel or Fred. So if you don't like Ethel or Fred, that's an episode for you.
Okay.
If you don't like Ethel or Fred for whatever reson.
Interesting.
Episode 16.
That was a winner.
No, it's not.
I was being sarcastic. Can you not tell?
Oh, I noticed.
Oh my goodness.
My main question in this was, is she supposed to have developed DID in a day? Is that what's supposed to be, like, we're supposed to believe that?
Yeah.
No. Our mental health has changed since then. No.
So, little history on mental health. 1950s, right? All run by men.
Of course.
And
it's only about men, too. Women were not being talked about for mental health
we had
stuff.
women's hysteria still going on.
Vibrators were being invented, so that's nice.
Right.
They may
Something's going well for us.
Right. And that's how you were being treated for hysteria, was going to the doctor and using the vibrator. Yay!
More doctor's appointments for me.
Well, I can't say that was happening in the 50s, but that did happen.
It did happen, yes. So, but yeah, she was trying to, again, manipulate situation, right? To put it in her favor. So she started to feign a mental problem.
Right.
Within, just minutes, actually. And then tried to manipulate that. So, yeah. If you have any kind of mental health issues, please, just be mindful of watching this particular episode.
Yeah. Lucy Fakes an Illness is a hard episode to watch.
Especially when you have family members that have actual illnesses like that.
Right.
Or even just chronic illness, chronic mental health illness. It's difficult to watch someone fake it. Not only it's like double fake, right? It's Lucille Ball playing Lucy, who's then playing someone with a mental illness. So it's really like fake on fake.
It is.
And it's not kind. It's not, it's not good.
No, it's not.
No.
It's really not. Yeah, it's really not that good.
I do want to mention that the book that she gets her information from is not a real book. It's a prop.
Oh, to also talk about the book, because I do have something about the book here. The person that they talk about in the book, when they talk about the patient or whatever, or whoever may have these stuff, they always use the pronoun he.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's all masculine.
Oh, yeah.
Women can never get this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because anytime a woman is sick, they have hysteria. So their conditions are pregnancy or hysteria.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We can't have any other
Can't
kind of
have
illness.
any other illness.
Yeah, because
can't
we
get
don't
a
have any
cold.
organs. We're just aliens that would, basic shells of ourselves.
Right? My God. Yeah. I was like, it's all masculine. There's no, which really shows what doctors were like. Medical papers and stuff were written exactly like that too.
Oh, yeah.
It's all masculine.
Yeah.
It's not even they.
Yeah, I can't even imagine being a woman trying to get through medical school at this time,
Oh God, no.
which there probably are. I didn't do any research on that, but
There probably were a few, I would say less than what we would want.
right?
Okay.
So I just wanted to make a note here that, here, I'll just read what I wrote. Socially constructed tropes appear to be something the writers of the show leaned on.
Yes.
They're not only gendered heteronormative portrayals, but also cultural appropriation and racial, sexist, ageist tropes as well, even with the kids, right? There's this ageist kind of trope. After watching the first half of the season from a feminist perspective, now mind you guys, I have watched this show a million times, over and over, all the way through season 1, all the way to the end. I can't tell you how many times I've watched it.
Personally, I've only seen it once before we did this.
Right.
All the way through.
So you haven't had...
I've seen like episodes here and there, but I haven't watched it.
I actually grew up with this show, so
Yeah.
I've watched it a million times.
I did
So,
not.
yeah, from watching from a feminist perspective, I find the show to be completely narrow in topics and content. In fact, there are many trigger warnings that were noted. Domestic violence and abuse, both verbal and physical, usurping autonomy, using disability as fodder for jokes, both mental and physical, are all used as part of the fabric of the content of the show. It is disturbing to see it through a new lens. And after watching it for so many years from childhood, it's disturbing. It really is.
Mm-hmm. You all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would also like to mention there is at least one episode within this first season that Lucy is spanked. It does happen a few times.
Oh my gosh.
In the whole
so
season.
disturbing.
Yeah, it does happen. Oh, here it is. It's in episode 15. Yeah. It's not great. It's not good.
No.
Ricky spanks Lucy. And it's played for comedy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be funny, but it's not funny.
It's not.
It doesn't come across as funny. I don't think I found it funny even when I was watching it, as a kid or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
It's not. It's really not. So I do have one more thing for episode 17. Or actually 2 things.
We're going to move on to 17.
Yeah.
Can I say something about episode 16 just right at the end?
No.
I find it interesting that they played the song, the band played the song at the end. It's called I'll Be Glad When You're Dead.
It is, yeah.
And it's an upbeat tune.
It is.
I found then that's funny, right?
That is funny.
Yeah. Because, she's supposed to be sick or whatever.
Yeah.
Now they're playing this upbeat thing. It's called I'll Be Glad When You're Dead.
That's funny. That is funny. So episode 17, Lucy tries to compare herself to Tennessee Williams. And that's the episode where Lucy tries to write a play.
Oh my gosh.
Tennessee Williams is a playwright and screenwriter. And he also, he mainly wrote, like, one of his main things. He wrote a bunch of different stuff. But one of his main big ones is A Streetcar Named Desire.
Interesting tidbit about me. I've never seen that.
Fun fact, I've never seen it either.
You would think after watching all the plays I've watched, you would think I'd seen that, but I haven't. And it's very famous,
It's
actually.
not a play.
It's not a play? It's a
a
movie?
movie.
Oh, well, whatever. I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I thought it was a play, too.
it might be.
Oh, well.
Later in the episode, Laurence Olivier is mentioned as well. He's a famous British actor from the time, starring in Wuthering Heights, the movie from 1939, as well as several Shakespeare movies at the time.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first times bringing...
If I remember right, he was one of the actors that's played Othello
I believe so.
and had to go into blackface to do so.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was of the time.
That was of the time. I don't think that happens in I Love Lucy at all.
I don't remember a time when anyone's blackface. No.
No.
Not in that show.
That's one of the
I
few...
could be wrong. I'll watch for it and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the few things that was common at the time, but didn't happen in the show.
Yeah. I don't remember any blackface in I Love Lucy, but we'll keep an eye on it.
We'll keep an eye out for it. I do have... Oh, well, let's finish episode 17, and then I have a few more notes or questions.
Okay.
Are you done with 17?
I just wanted to mention that the Wednesday afternoon Fine Arts League for women.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about women's clubs for a minute.
So, yeah, that's a thing.
Is it an actual thing?
Well, the show it was, and okay, if you're hearing tapping, that is
our dog.
13-year-old dog named Ricky.
Named by my grandmother.
Yeah.
Who we had twin dogs, and my grandmother named them Lucy and Ricky because they're black and white beagles.
So, truth be told, I'm the one that named them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm the one that named them. They're black and white beagles, so I named them because she was a huge Lucille Ball fan.
She was.
She loved I Love Lucy. That was one of her very, very favorite shows.
Yeah. So apologies for hearing the tapping in the background.
He's wandering.
He's wandering. He woke up. So let's talk about women's clubs.
Yeah, women's clubs.
So that one women's club actually exists?
Currently, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get it.
Well, let's talk about women's clubs in general for a minute. For a minute. I'm running out of tongue power. I don't know.
Did you charge your tongue before you started?
I forgot.
Oh, damn.
In 1950s was a peak time for women's clubs, as many women were forced to be at home. Not just 1950s. It was before that. They started in the late 19th century and continued to grow until the 1960s, when more women were entering the workforce and had less time.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
But they did a lot of stuff around the country, and most of the time they got together to create policy changes. I read about a few who created kindergartens and juvenile courts, so that juveniles weren't being treated the same as adults.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. Hopefully we're talking over the tapping, because he doesn't seem to be wanting to settle down. So there is a blurb on Reddit about this. When the show took place, there were a lot of male fraternal organizations.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the male membership being employed in some way or self-employed professionals, but not normally show people. So Ricky would not have been part of anyone that would have picked him up for a membership, right? Because he would have been on the fringe of that.
Yeah. He's a show person.
Yeah, and most of the fraternal organizations would have auxiliary clubs, women's clubs, or ladies' clubs for the women, mostly wives of the men that were in the fraternal. So it's this sort of gendered,
interesting. I didn't
approach to separating.
A real big deep dive into women's clubs.
Well, this is just a Reddit post, so. Ricky was Cuban and in show business, neither of which are typical characteristics of a fraternal organization. And many of them were also racially restricted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So in a historical light, a group of neighborhood women having their own small club set around the interest of the performing arts and by extension show business made sense back in the day, especially since many watchers across the country were themselves involved with fraternal organizations and the associated ladies auxiliaries. They could relate. So this makes sense that Ethel and Lucy, because they're part of vaudeville, because they're part of the production and stuff like that, and stage stuff, that they would seek out a women's club that would be part of that scene. So that makes sense. What's interesting to me is that if I think about this really critically, right, that the wives of men who are performers, or even maybe women performers might be part of this particular women's club.
Right.
But if you get into like performers like burlesque or other types of risque type performances, they would not have been entertained.
That is very interesting.
So it's not just all women, it's specific types of women.
Very specific women. So leading from that, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why are always Ricky's partner in his performances, female, always switched out? Why are they constantly switched out, but he is not? That is very frustrating to me.
Because he doesn't have a standing troupe of people. So he casts with each show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably a production thing. Also pay.
Could be.
And also New York it's not necessarily somewhere where you stay, right?
True.
As a performer. So you do your
I
performance.
just find it funny that he stays.
He lives there, and he is the band leader for that.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't necessarily travel, especially at the beginning. This is the beginning of his career.
True. It is the beginning of his career.
Even though him and Lucy have been married many years at this point. At least 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Something else I found interesting was that there's only one female in Ricky's band. It's the harpist.
Yes. Because that's what females can play.
They're not allowed to play anything else.
Massive
harp.
Construction of a thing.
I mean, it's beautiful to listen to, but it's huge.
I mean, if you look at his band, it makes sense that she would be the harpist. Other instruments would be piano or maybe flute or clarinet, right? Those would be sort of the female.
Which none of those are in his band.
No, and the thing is what's portrayed in this first season is his band, right? And I think it does move into orchestra later. So having a harp does lean towards orchestra. It just depends on.
She does play.
Yeah,
you can hear it.
Yeah.
She does play.
And also it could be per number, right?
Right.
Where he's casting for characters to play in his number, dance partners, things like that. He also may be casting, quote unquote, to his band to add or remove certain instruments, depending on what music is played. So, yeah, there may be core band members that are on weekly pay or something like that to have stable pay,
year-long contracts,
something like that. Yeah, but being a performer, especially back in this time, it wasn't a stable job.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I had.
Yeah. So finding something like that to go to the same club every night and yeah, that was actually very interesting to have that as a option to bring money home.
Mm-hmm. So do you have anything else? What about the miscellaneous category?
I mean, I don't know that I have anything for miscellaneous really.
Okay. I mean, I have a few
We
things.
talked about all the things that I wanted to talk about.
There's only two things I actually want to talk about. So in the third episode, The Diet, Ricky and Lucy have a dog.
Right.
And then it's never seen again.
Right.
What? The dog's name is Butch.
Right.
Okay. Just have what?
I think it's only there.
It's only there for that one episode because
for the one scene, really, because
it's only for that one scene, so you can see how kind of crazy Lucy's going.
The dog was introduced to put him in competition for food.
Yeah.
Because how else would Lucy beg for food? I mean, it sounds funny on paper, but it ain't funny.
No, that's ridiculous. Look who finally laid down. Our dog finally laid down. Good job, Rick. So I have a few more things, actually. 2 more, at least. So in episode 4, Ricky talks about, or it's talked about, I can't remember if it's Ricky, slipping someone a Mickey. So that is drugging someone. That's what that means.
Again, usurping someone's autonomy.
Exactly. So let's talk about where that came from, just real quick. So it was most likely named after Michael Mickey Finn, who was the manager and bartender of the Lone Star Saloon and Palm Garden Restaurant, which was in Chicago from 1896 to 1903. He would put drugs in people's drinks to knock them out so he could rob them. That's what him and his wife would do.
Just rob them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it was men. It was a special drink on...
Oh, he drugged men for their money.
Yeah, it was for their money. So it was a special drink on the bar menu, and it was super expensive. And so only high rollers would buy it. And then, so when they would buy it, they'd get drugged, and he would rob them.
Wow.
So that's where it came from. And then after that, things happened. But there were restaurant poisonings that were happening, and waiters started doing it. If you were a bad tipper or you were offensive or whatever, waiters would do it to you. And it happened. Like over 100 waiters were arrested in Chicago in like 1918, something like that. Yeah, and it was called slipping someone a Mickey.
Wow. Okay.
Or giving somebody a Mickey Finn.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Don't do that, people. Don't do that.
Right? Don't take people's autonomy away. I did want to just final note on the diet episode. Those of you with eating disorders, please be mindful.
Careful.
This is a very hard one to watch if you have an eating disorder. Because there's the specific food restriction for the specific purpose of getting people manipulated.
Yes.
So it's really hard to watch.
The whole diet episode was really hard to watch just in general because, and it's also unrealistic because Lucy apparently loses 5 pounds in a day with that pressure cooker contraption.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just so she can do the number. And then after the number, then she goes in the hospital for 3 weeks. That doesn't make any sense.
Right, for malnutrition. And so that doesn't make sense. So yeah,
she wouldn't have been able to do the number.
Is really awful. There's lots of poor writing. Like, yeah, it's just not a good episode.
It's not. The first 3 episodes are really hard. 4th is a little bit better. 5th is a little bit better. If I'm remembering the episodes
number
correctly.
3 is really hard. One of the things, just as an example, Fred gets the line that the ladies shoveled food like it was on a conveyor belt, to which Ethel responds that it's okay, it's my hobby.
Yeah. Ethel is portrayed as being it's a trope. Ethel is portrayed as the trope of being the fat friend.
Yes.
The fat sidekick.
Yes.
She's not.
No.
She's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous. She's autonomy.
So thin. I mean,
yeah.
No. She's
beautiful. She's very talented. She can sing.
So talented.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's portrayed that throughout the whole thing. So just be careful of that.
So, yeah, that's one of the things I noticed is that Lucy consistently dims Ethel's light.
Yes.
And Ethel steps back to let that happen.
She does.
And it gets less and less as time goes on. I will just say that. It does get more positive as time goes on. But at this first part, it's
these first 17 episodes were difficult.
They were difficult.
They were hard.
And to see how the next ones go.
There was at one point where we were like, are we sure we're going to do this?
Right. Yeah. So
they were getting pretty difficult. All right. Well, I think we're good. Are you done?
Yeah. I've got nothing else. I don't think. I do want to thank everybody for joining us today.
Yeah.
It was super difficult to get through some of this. So
be careful with yourself. Love yourself.
Love yourself. Be compassionate. Do all the self-care things. And enjoy watching TV.
Yeah. Sit back and relax. Enjoy.
Don't forget to take your bra off.
Bye, everybody.